Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
So what I was saying was, there are two ways of creating a lead. In fact, three ways. The first way is you can create an online customer form just like the way we have done yesterday and then publish on the customer website so that whoever clicks on that web link that you publish. Where is that web link? If you go to Setup Marketing and search online customer forms. These are the forms that we have created. So this is the web link. When you create a lead generation form, a web link gets created like this and we can do that. That is the first way of doing the leads, generating the leads. Now, the second way of creating the leads is directly. You can go into lists, relationships and leads and new. You can create a lead from this form as well. This is the form that we have. So you can select your subsidiary just like the way you create your customer. We can create the lead and the lead status. You know, whenever the lead status is lead unqualified, it will be 0%. So you can change the lead qualified and then convert it into a prospect. That is one way of doing it. This is the second way. Now the third way is you can actually, create a CSV import and import all the leads. Let us say you have 50 leads to be imported within the system. So all those 50 leads with all these fields you can actually put in a CSV template. And once the CSV template is imported, you will have all the leads generated within the system. Any questions on this? 3 ways of creating the leads. That's great. So give me 1 second. So once the leads are generated, I have shown you the reports where you can see the lead report and everything. So this is the marketing report that you will be able to see after generating the marketing template and marketing emails. After you trigger that marketing emails, you will be able to see the campaign return on investment analysis, the campaign responses. You know who has clicked on that particular campaign and how many have turned into a potential customers. All these things will be available. Lead source analysis as well. So if you get into these reports, there are various reports that you can see. If we do not have data within that report, then probably we may not be able to get it, but let us see. The reason there is no data here is because, if you remember, we were not able to verify the email address yesterday. There was this particular email address that we have put in, but unfortunately, since this is a test system, we were not able to verify what the email is. So once that email is verified, if you have a valid email address on NetSuite, and then if you have a valid email address to be validated, then you will be able to create the marketing campaign along with the marketing templates. So once the marketing templates are created, you can actually put in these templates. I mean, inside the template, You have a marketing campaign that you can select, as I have shown you yesterday, if you're going to the marketing templates. So once the templates are in, you will be able to see that you can select the marketing campaign within the marketing template, and you will be able to send these templates to all the customers. So once that data is available, once you have at least sent out, one particular template and one particular campaign, that is when you will have reports. I mean, the data should be there in the reports, so that is when you will be able to see. Now, this is a report that you can see. Lead source and no lead source. There might be a few lead sources like websites and then advertisements, social media, customer websites. So all these things can be your lead sources, and you can actually verify where exactly have you gotten these leads from. So once you create this marketing template and once you assign that template on a marketing campaign, then you will be able to see the entire reports which are related to the marketing. Physically, we were not able to create a transaction, but this is the entire process of the marketing to return on investment. Any questions on that? Thank you. Now, once the lead is created within the system. So let us say I have a lead now. This is the lead. So once the lead is created within the system as EIS, how does this convert to a prospect and how does this convert to a customer? So there are 3 stages of a customer. One is lead, the other one is prospect, and the other one is customer. So these are the entities. I have to call them as entities. So more or less, these are the same entities that we actually have. Give me a second. So these are the 3 stages of an entity. You have the lead, prospect, and a customer. So there are some transactions again. So there are some transactions which are called as opportunities. Sales quotation. And then the final sales order. So these 3 entities belong to the same thing. I mean, at the initial stage, these are all customers only. I mean, don't think that lead is different, prospect is different, customer is different. Lead is the first stage of the customer with a 10% chance of him converting into a prospect. So here we said there is a 10% chance. Once the lead converts into a prospect, then you will have 50% chance of him converting into a customer, and customer is of 100%. And when does this get converted? So from the lead, you can create a transaction, and that transaction is nothing but your opportunity. So once you create an opportunity against this lead, so once this lead is there in the system, I will be able to create an opportunity against this lead. So as soon as the opportunity is saved, this lead automatically gets converted to prospect. I'll show you how that works now from a prospect stage. I will be able to create a sales quotation or a sales order. So once I am creating a sales order and giving a confirmation to my suite that this particular prospect is no longer a prospect, but he is our customer. He has already taken our product. We have a sales order with so and so product, and that is the reason he is no longer a prospect, but he is a customer. So let us go now under the leads. If you go here and see that there are a couple of options. One says quotation, one says sales order. I think the opportunities are not enabled in our system. Let me see. Oh, the opportunities are already there. So quote is there, sales order is there, invoice is there. We should be able to see an opportunity here as well. Lead can create an opportunity that should be available. There you go. So this is the opportunity. You can create what is an opportunity. What is your understanding about opportunity? Can someone tell you what is an opportunity? Just give it a try. You don't have to be correct or you don't have to understand what it is. I will explain you what is an opportunity, but before I go there, I just wanted you to, make me understand what is your level of understanding of opportunity. What do you think is an opportunity? Maybe the lead is interested in our product. Wonderful, wonderful. Exactly. Correct. So that lead, Yaris company is interested in our product. And at this stage, we will create opportunity against this lead. So this is one way of creating an opportunity. Now, the other way of creating the opportunity is transactions. Sales create opportunity. So this will take you to the same page as actually. But in this opportunity, you have to select your company manually. Company, I will have to select it here, and then only I can create an opportunity against this company. However, if I want to create an opportunity against the lead directly from here, what I can do, I can just click on this opportunity directly. So, if you see, when I clicked on opportunity, company is selected by default. Can you see this? Company is automatically defaulted and the sales rep is also carried over from the lead. So when this is a transaction, remember guys, there is a difference. Lists relationships and leads prospects customers. These are your entities. These are called your entities. So all your vendors, customers, prospects, leads, contacts, all this is your master data and they are called as entities on NetSuite. Now, under the transactions, you will have your opportunities, quotations, sales orders. So these are your transactions. So as in when you create your transactions linking with the leads, let us say you have a lead within the system and you're creating an opportunity. So that opportunity will turn your lead into a prospect. So from the prospect, I can enter a sales order. So when you enter a sales order, this particular prospect automatically becomes your customer. Any questions on that? Yes. I have one question from the leads. From the lead, when you're making them an opportunity. So we have to do manually. We have to open the lead, then convert to the opportunity manually. That's what I showed you. There are two ways of doing it. One way is this: you can go into this opportunity, create opportunities and select your company directly over there. That is one way of doing it. The second way is from the lead under the action. If you go into the opportunity, then your company will be automatically selected here. We have to do manually whenever you want to create an opportunity. Now there is a third way of creating an opportunity as well, which is through our CSV import. Whenever we do a CSV import, then you will be able to import more than one opportunity as well. Let us say you have like 15 to 20 opportunities that you want to import into the system. Then you can do that where you're going to set up import CSV records. And in that, I will go into transactions first because my opportunities are transactions. And then I can see my sales orders. All these things would be available. See this opportunity. I can create an opportunity with this particular CSV import, and I can do it through a CSV import. Like you might have like 10 or 15 opportunities to be created at a time, and you can use the CSV import. So these are the three ways of doing it. So we will see how our lead gets converted into a prospect now. Let's go back to our leads. This is our leads page. Let's open up. Yes. So I go into the opportunity I selected, and then I can select an item which he is interested in. One of the items, any one item. One quantity. Don't look at the base rate amount and everything. I will show that to you later on how our lead is getting converted. So once I save the opportunity now, I have an opportunity against my company. The sales rep assigned to that company is Shweta Tandamudi, and she will be in touch with the customer. They will let them know that there is an opportunity created. So this is the opportunity. Now, if I go back to my lead and without doing anything, we will just refresh this page. You see this? The reason why it has converted to a prospect is because there's an opportunity already created for this particular. Any questions on that? Do you have any questions for me? That's great. So if I go into the sales tab, there is something called as opportunities. So if I click on that, you will see that my opportunity is linked with this lead now. So this is the opportunity. Where is the opportunity here? I can go into this opportunity by clicking on this. If I click on this, it will take me to that same opportunity again. So one wonderful thing about NetSuite is that if there is any association with the entity, let us say there is an opportunity, there is a sales quotation, or there is a sales order directly, then all these things that really linked over here, in the opportunities. And if you have sales quotes and sales orders, then obviously it will get linked over here. As of now, there is only opportunity. So now this opportunity, what I can do is let's get into the actions again. So if I go into the actions, I can convert this into a sales order, or I can convert this into a sales quotation as well. There is something called a sales quote, which will be a second stage of that particular transaction. So at this stage, what I'm saying is the probability of converting this opportunity into a sales order is 20%. So I can create a sales quotation, which will be 50% again. You see this, there is 50% chance that this. Oh, using the enter item line shift to address is not an excess, is raised in a specific country. So I have created a sales quotation now. I'm saying that once I create a quotation, this particular prospect, there is a 50% chance that he might get converted to a customer directly. So there is a quotation now. Now I can go into the prospect again and let's refresh this and see if there's any change. There's no change. The reason behind that is it has not converted to a customer yet. Let's get into the sales tab. And if you see there under transactions, you will see a quotation. So the quotation is for 329 for one item and the quotation status is open. Now from this quotation, I can convert this to sales order directly. I click on a sales order. All the information just flows in automatically. I have my opportunity, I have my lead, I have the lead's address, I have the sales rep already assigned to be, the lead. All these things would actually be converted directly onto a sales order. So when we are doing the sales order, I will explain you all these fields in detail. Do not worry about the fields and all now. Today, I'm showing you how a lead gets converted to a prospect getting converted to a customer. That's it. Don't worry about all these fields that you're seeing now. So I can save this. Once the sales order is saved, this particular customer is a customer because I'm doing business with him. There is a $329 item that I'm selling to this particular customer. And the item is Dell 12-inch Ultra Sharp LED monitor, something T329. So if I go back to my prospect again, this is my prospect. So if I refresh this, my prospect will become a customer. So you understood the procedure. You understood how these things work. Yes. So now one other thing that I wanted to explain now. This is a complete cycle of a lead conversion, how a lead gets converted to an opportunity. How a lead gets converted to a prospect when created an opportunity, and from an opportunity when you put in a sales order, how we convert to a customer. Now do not think that this is the only way of doing this. These are different stages of the customer on NetSuite. You can directly create a customer. And from that customer, you can directly create a sales order. You don't have to go through all this procedure. But for customers, for businesses, if they have a requirement wherein they maintain the leads, they maintain the prospects, then they assign the sales reps and all these things. Then, only then, this procedure is followed, or else you can directly create a customer. And from that customer, you can directly create a sales order as well. Any questions on that? No. That's great. So I'll show you something else. Give me a second. Let's get on to the Excel sheet. So I'm saying that there is a leader. On creating the, let us say I put this. So when I create an opportunity for this lead, I'm saying that he would become a prospect. Correct. And when I create a sales order, this guy will become a customer. Correct. So instead of creating an opportunity, you can create a sales order directly from the lead as well. So there is a provision on NetSuite that you can create a sales quotation. You can create a sales order from the lead directly. So when you create a sales order against a lead directly, then he would not become a prospect, but he becomes a customer directly. Because we are already doing business with this guy. So he doesn't have to be a prospect anymore. You have created a sales order, so the lead has to become a customer directly. Agreed. Do you agree with me? Yes, sir. So let's test that also. Let's go to company now. And instead of creating an opportunity, what I do is I will create a sales order directly. Let us create that in a different tab so that it can be clear. Let us go to we'll go to a different tab. Looks like it doesn't open a different tab. We'll open this different tab again. So, from this Karthik's company, I want to create a sales order directly rather than an opportunity quotation. I don't have time for all those things. I want to create a direct sales order. And then let us create a. So Karthik was a lead within my system until I created the sales order. I'm not creating an opportunity. I'm not creating a quotation. Rather, I have created a sales order directly for my Karthik's company. So if I go here and refresh this, it becomes a customer directly. Correct. Understood. Great. So this is called Salesforce automation. There is a Salesforce integration with NetSuite that it's actually working in the backend so that you know whenever you're creating an opportunity, it has to convert to a prospect. And from that prospect, it has to convert to a customer when you create a sales order. So this is how it works. And where did we enable this lead conversion? Do you remember lead conversion that we have enabled? This is where we have enabled this. If you don't enable this lead conversion, then all this is not going to work. And the online forms that we have enabled. For leads for customers, there are two forms that we have seen. One is to create a support case and the other one is to create a lead within the system. So this online forms that you see, this is for the leads that we get, that we generate within the system. And there is another online form within the support system as well. So in the support, there is an online form which can be enabled. And that is for C. This is the Salesforce automation that I was talking about. You see this. Routing of incoming leads to the sales reps and convert leads and prospects into customers, which means the rules that we spoke about. I have created one rule, sales rule, and I have created a sales territory based on one of the state, California. We have assigned this year Russ lead to one of the sales representative. How did that work? So that is what is your Salesforce automation, which is actually doing this. If you remember, while we were doing the enabled features and accounting preferences, I told you that we will switch back and forth. I will go back and explain what are the features that we have enabled during our processes. So this is what it is. This is the marketing automation. So marketing automation, whatever we see here under the lists marketing, you know the templates, campaigns, sales campaigns, all these things will be enabled. If you enable this marketing automation only, or else you will not have it. So for support, you have your automated case escalation. See, I have escalated one of the cases saying that it hasn't been attended for more than 2 minutes or something. If you remember, that case was escalated to the supervisor immediately. So that case escalation works only if you have this automated case escalation created, enabled. If you don't enable this, this will not be there. Escalation management will not be there. Any questions on this? No, I'm good. So roles and permissions. There is a presentation. Let me just walk you through that. I'll just show you. You know what all? I have already shown it to you. So if you see what defines a role, how does it all impact the user's interaction with NetSuite? Identify NetSuite standard roles, permissions and centers, manage roles and permissions, show all differences. We have already discussed all these things on NetSuite, but I just wanted to present that you want to repeat. So a role is actually defined access, configuration of permissions. Who is the user and employee? What is the center? The navigation paths assigned to a role are called the center. So set of permissions, access level define restrictions that modify functions. So if you remember, these are the 4 levels that we spoke about yesterday. View, create, edit and fold. So you know what each one of these are at view only view. Create is view and create. Edit is create, view and edit. Full is create, view, edit and delete. Roles can be customized. I have shown that to you yesterday, how roles can be customized. So this is the login audit trail where you can see who has logged in when. So when you go to set up users roles, there is view login audit trail and you can see that as well. So yesterday I have shown you a couple of, set of tabbed pages that display role specific centers. These are called. So if you see on the classic interface, this is the classic interface that I told you that an administrator would have, which will have activities, transactions, lists, reports, customization documents, setup and support. Now, if you assign a finance center for an AP clerk or for an AR clerk, you will have finance center, which is activities, customers, vendors, payroll, financial reports, documents, and setup and support. So if you are giving it an AP clerk, then customers will not be there. If you're creating an AR clerk, then vendors will not be there. So that is how it works. This is the shipping center and this is the sales center. So I told you this, all users can use the classic interface. When you go into the user preferences, you can click on use classic. You remember this from the yesterday's session. So any center you have, let it be finance or shipping or sales, you can click on this use classic interface and it automatically changes to be classic interface. I have a couple of presentations as well. So I was showing you the lead to code presentation. All you have identified business challenges and solutions. Lead to customer process view. Create and qualify leads. Create and manage opportunities, generate quotations and estimates, analyze performance. So this is what the lead to code process is all about. I don't know if you're able to see my screen properly. So let me read this to you. The first one is marketing to ROI, wherein a lead gets created. From that lead, a prospect is created. And from the prospect, that customer is created. So from this prospect, you can actually, whenever there is a lead, when you're creating an opportunity, the prospect gets created automatically. When you're creating a sales order, the customer gets created automatically. That is about the prospect customer relationship that we have spoke about little while ago. There are some business challenges. There are certain NetSuite solutions that can be provided for that. So this is what I wanted to show you. If you see my screen, lead individual, lead company, and then lead. So whenever you create an opportunity, it is getting converted to a prospect. You see this. And when from the prospect, if you put in a sales order, it's getting converted to a customer. So likewise from the lead, if you create a sales order directly, it becomes a customer. Any questions on that? So see, your lead can be an individual or a company. So if your lead is an individual, then if you create an opportunity against it, the prospect also will be individual, and the sales order, the customer, also will be an individual. Maybe the company name is not there, but if the company name is there, automatically the company becomes a prospect and the company becomes a customer. So there you go. So the opportunity estimate or quotation, the sales orders, these are the sales transaction terminology that you have there. So these are the different, what you call probabilities. When you have a lead stage, it could be 0%. Unqualified prospect, qualified is 10%. In discussions is 20%. Decision makers 32%. So on and so forth. So you have roles and responsibilities of marketing guy. It could be a marketing to ROI, relevant roles like administrator, create online forms, manage and execute campaigns, analyze marketing performances. All these things I have already shown you. The reason why I'm showing you these presentations after showing you the system is you will have a clear idea. If I'm just presenting you these PPDs, obviously you will not be able to understand anything that we're talking about now. I said great. It's about the marketing to ROI. This is complicated for us. Just look at my screen and I'll keep typing. Whatever is completed. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Enabling features and all preferences, sales marketing support. This is done next week implementation process. I explained you the detailed implementation process, including the personalizations, including the walkthroughs, how it is done and everything. CSV import process is completed. Saved search creations is completed. Forms and custom fields creation is done. Manage, create user roles. I have explained you everything in detail with the presentations. Master data. We've discussed vendors. We've seen how the customers are created. We've seen how the items are created. We have seen how the chart of accounts are created. We've also created certain subsidiaries, test classes, test departments, test locations. Agree with me? Wonderful. What about the item? Item. Items. We have created CSV import through an item, and we have seen how that items are created. So that is done. Now in this items, I will discuss different item types. This is pending. I know we will discuss this. Sales rules. I have explained you sales territories. We have created examples and seen how it works. Support rules. I have explained support territories. I have explained the escalation matrix. We have checked it already. Marketing preferences done. Lead conversion is done. Online customer forms, both marketing and support forms are done. I've shown you how support cases are created. It is actually listed down here. This is the support case form and that is the marketing form. Now this is done as well. So all these things are completed. Sir, I have one question. Sir, tell me. Because I'm not from IT background, the implementation. Can you go up? Can you go up? The implementation. Actually, where does this implementation done, sir? Where do they actually do implementation? See, whatever we are doing now is implementation only. Implementation is nothing. But whenever you implement NetSuite ERP for your customers, the entire process is called NetSuite implementation. And I have shown you what is the complete NetSuite implementation process like this. We have discussed all these things. The NetSuite modules. What are the different modules like? Design to build, procure, to pay order, to cash report, lead to code project cash service, customer relationship management. For all these things, you will have the different modules. And then the personalization sessions will be conducted for all these sessions. What is personalization? Enable features and accounting preferences. Enabling them and disabling them is your accounting. Enable features and accounting preferences. Agree with me? Correct. So this is what is implementation process from your kickoff call until you go live. And then after going left, there is something called as hypercare support. Which means once the customer goes live, 2 months, our consultants will be bound to help the customers if they are stuck somewhere or if they have to deal with something. Then this is actually how it is done. For only 2 months. Correct. Absolutely. For 2 months only. However, some customers take an extended hypercare support. They have to pay for it. So 2 months is a part of the SOO. But if they pay additional, saying that we need more support, then an extended hypercare support will be there. And that is where you will have the support projects. So there are 2 kinds of projects, guys. The first is the implementation project. We're implementing a brand new NetSuite implementation for our customers. That is what is your implementation project is all about, which is from your kickoff call. The salespeople get in touch with the client. They put in there is something called as request for proposal. So we create all those requests for proposals. We will give them a background of what our company is. How many NetSuite implementations have we done? how many years we have been in NetSuite implementation? How many employees do we have for NetSuite Functional, NetSuite Technical? What are the certifications that these employees have completed? All this can be put in a request for proposal deck and that is sent out to the customers. So, taking a look at the request for proposal, they will decide whether to go ahead with implementation or not. So, once they sign the statement of work, that is when the implementation starts and that's when the kickoff call comes into picture. First kickoff call. So, after all this is done, once we go live, there is a hypercare support for 2 years. However, there are customers who are signed up for support like 5 years, 8 years, 10 years with NetSuite. That is a maintenance. There will be 2 guys who need to be available day in and day out for the customer. That's it. From our company, let us say I'm working for RSM Technologies. So RSM Technologies has got one functional consultant and one technical consultant working for my BMMWoo customer. So this BMMWoo customer will actually have this hypercare support and they're supported whatever tickets they get. If they come up with any issues, if they come up with, if they're stuck with some processes, that is where this technical and functional guys jump in and resolve their issues. So for those, they might have some ticketing tools like Matrix or like Remedy or any other ticketing tools like Salesforce or Agera. So these ticketing tools will be available to track the status of those calls. Of those those tickets will be assigned to the support reps. Any questions on this implementation process? Sir, one more question, sir. How the code is moved to the production, sir? Good question. Code is not moved to the production. So whatever changes you make will actually be done on the production only. So on NetSuite implementation, this is how it works. You have a production system, you have a sandbox. So sandbox is a test system. Now, when we are dealing with the customers, we do everything on production, only enabling features, accounting, preferences, creating those workflows, creating those scripts. Everything is done on NetSuite and we start doing the test transactions. Test transactions are nothing, but you have a set of 15 people for procure to pay from the customer side. They have to learn just like the way you are doing test transactions in the system. Their users also have to do the test transactions. Agree? Yes. So, while getting trained, they will create purchase orders. They will create vendor bills. They will create sales orders. They will create invoices, return authorizations, work orders, bill of material, everything. So once before we go live, just before we go live, what we do is we delete all these transactions only. Understand the difference between master data and transaction. Master data is your subsidiaries, vendors, customer items, classes, departments, locations. Anything which is a select option on NetSuite is a master data. So that master data is left out and all the transactions from bottom-up approach, which means the latest will be the refund. I delete the refund. I delete the credit memo. I delete the return authorization. Then I delete the item invoice. Then after invoice, I delete all the invoices. I mean, this can be done in all. At once I can select all my 100 invoices. I can set up all my 100 sales orders. Select all my 100 purchase orders. So if there is a link transaction to, if there is a transaction on top of a transaction, because I create purchase order first and then I create a vendor bill. Item receipt, purchase order, item receipt and vendor bill. So first I have to delete the vendor bills. Then I have to delete the item receipts. Then I have to delete the purchase order. So likewise, all these transactions are deleted and then a brand new slate like up instances provided to the customers so that they can start putting in the purchase orders and sales orders as a new system. Any questions over there? A few reports done. Scheduled reports. I have shown you how to send emails. Report customization done. I have shown you how all the fields can be moved across the reports and everything. So what is pending now? What is pending is entire purchase order process. I will show you how that works. FIM is a very big topic. That's pending as well. Sales orders, order to cash sales order procedure, and then a bit of manufacturing. I will not show you everything in detail on the manufacturing, but I'll show you the sample of manufacturing. So these are the topics which are left out for us guys. And I need let's say 3 hours for purchase or pure to pay, 3 hours for order to cash and a 1 hour for the manufacturing process. So another 7 hours are pending for us. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.